Hey guys, here's a little inside baseball. So at the end of every month, YouTube makes suggestions on how I can make my videos more popular with people. And one of the things they suggest is I should make videos which are evergreen and topical. So I'm going to try to do that a little bit now. I'm just going to say a few things about Henry Kissinger, who recently died. So if you don't know who Henry Kissinger is, he was the National Security Advisor and Secretary of State for Nixon and also Gerald Ford. Now, Nixon was in office. We were in Vietnam, and Henry Kissinger personally directed a bombing campaign in Cambodia. Now, if you're thinking Cambodia is part of Vietnam because you're not good at geography, no. Cambodia is an independent country that borders Vietnam. So why were we carpet bombing Cambodia? Were we at war with Cambodia? No. But the Vietnamese communists used Cambodia as part of the Ho Chi Minh Trail, this path in which they used to arm their troops. So what Henry Kissinger said is like, look, we have to fight them, even if it involves bombing a neighboring country. Okay, all right. So just take that in for a bit. Now, this bombing campaign, in which over 100,000 tons of ordnance were dropped on Cambodia, led to the death of anywhere between 24,000 and 1 million Cambodians. The numbers aren't sure because, quite frankly, Americans don't really care that much about the lives of Southeast Asians. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been killing millions of them in Vietnam. But I'll continue. So part of this bombing campaign, or at least the result of this bombing campaign, led to the rise of a group called the Khmer Rouge, which was I'll just say that the Khmer Rouge was led by a guy named Pol Pot, who became the prime minister of Cambodia when the Khmer Rouge took over. And when he was in power, there was about a 3-year period of genocide in which 1.5 to 2 million Cambodians were murdered. These include anti-government people, Muslims, basically anyone that they saw as enemies. So you could say that Henry Kissinger is directly and indirectly responsible to the deaths of as few as 1.5 million people and upwards to 3.5 million people. Now, he did worse things in his lifetime, but I'm just going to focus on that. Now, what does this have to do with Kristi Noem? If you don't know who she is the governor of South Dakota. In a recent interview, she said, talking about Henry Kissinger, he was this great statesman and that parents should read quotes of Henry Kissinger to their children. Okay, here's a quote that Henry Kissinger, people say this to your kids. Here's a Henry Kissinger quote. Power is the ultimate aphrodisiac. There's a Henry Kissinger quote. That's Kristi Noem wants you to say that to your kids. I don't know what they're supposed to learn from that. The reason Kristi Noem is important because here's my prediction, guys. I've made it in other videos. Kristi Noem is going to be Trump's running mate for president. If we had an election tomorrow, I believe Trump would win. She's going to be the vice president. Kristi Noem is not stupid. Kristi Noem is smarter than every other Republican who is running against Trump, who actually thinks they can win. Vivek Ramaswamy is not running for president. He's running for a cabinet position because he has his lips surgically attached to Trump's butt. But DeSantis is an idiot to actually think that he could get the nomination. Kristi Noem knows that she couldn't beat Trump. She has presidential ambitions. She's 52, but she's a youthful and attractive 52. And she's politically smart. Does she know anything about Kissinger? It doesn't really matter because if you hold power in Washington, whether you're Republican or Democrat, they can't wait to praise this piece of garbage war criminal. There was a debate that Bernie Sanders had with Hillary Clinton some years back where he actually pointed out, how Hillary Clinton had this positive relationship with Henry Kissinger. Because guess what, guys? Both parties, they all have trash people in it. I'm not a Republican. I vote Democrat because, you hold your nose. But yeah, there are trash people in the Democratic Party, of course. So does Kristi Noem really know anything about Henry Kissinger? Yeah, she's not stupid. She probably does. Would she agree with the stuff that he did? Probably not. But she knows to basically suck up the power, you got to praise this guy. So two takeaways here, guys. One, if you have people in the news talk about Henry Kissinger being a controversial figure, he wasn't a controversial figure. He was a war criminal. The other takeaway is Kristi Noem is going to be Trump's his running mate. I mean, that's my prediction. And she'll probably make a pretty good running mate. Some people will probably make comparisons between her and Palin. I think she's going to be what McCain was hoping he could have gotten out of Palin. That's what Kristi Noem's going to actually be. Anyway.